Hi there. Welcome to the first day of a year by design. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited that you're choosing to commit to your highest expression. And thank you so much for choosing to activate your greatest creative potential, to walk your soul path, and to just honor yourself in all the ways that you do. So I'm so excited to share some effective, simple tools with you and to start this journey. So let us begin by dropping into our bodies with a small meditation here. So let's get still in the breath, breathing softly into the belly, and just feel your body in the space that you are. Maybe your sit bones are on a chair, on the bed. Maybe your feet are touching something. Just presence yourself. Maybe the air is tracing your skin. You can feel that. And start to feel your beating heart. Maybe you place a hand on your heart if you want. And start to feel the way your body has supported you this past year and in your whole life. The way that it has provided a place for your soul to live through. The way that your heart has beat in all the moments that have led up to today. Contemplate all the food that your hands have touched, that your mouth has received, all the steps and all the ways that your feet have moved you across the world, across your world in this past year, all the way up until this exact very spot where you are right now. Contemplate all the energies and all the sensations you've perceived when you've been beside another person. All the ways that your body allows you to feel and sense and experience your environment. All the sights that your eyes have seen. All the different colors, movements, and views that your eyes have taken in. And rest in knowing that this body you inhabit has moved for you. It's breathed for you. It's lived with you. All the mornings you've woken up again and again, and all the ways that your body has released into sleep. You've had a year of support, of life, of new beginnings. And now we get to begin again. You can wiggle your toes and your fingers with a smile of gratitude at your body. And come into the space here with us now as you open your eyes and presence yourself to this experience now. So if you've been to the student portal with the password that's provided in the emails that you've received, you will notice that at the bottom there are the 2 play sheets and the 3 guided meditations. So you can use the play sheets to experience the next 3 months, and you can print out 4 copies of this so you can have the full year. So as the 3 months finish, you can have another 3-month cycle. And then there's a play sheet for 12 months. So that's like looking at the whole year and manifesting the greatest vision. And then there's 3 guided meditations to really take you and invite you into some beautiful places. So I hope you experience those and download them and keep them for yourself. And you will have access to these recordings and this page for the next 3 months. And if I release a year by design again, you will have participation for free as a past participant for all the future times that I release a year by design. So today we're going to be taking an honest look at our life. So if you saw the first email and did the exercise that I mentioned there, writing down everything that you remember month by month from the past year, everything that you've experienced, everything that you've had happen, this will help you to look at your life in a grand perspective, as we are going to do today. We're going to be talking about plugging energy leaks. We're going to look at self-sabotage and playing small. We're going to get real about emotional suffering or emotional turmoil. And we're also going to prune our money for abundant growth. So today is all about pruning for growth. So just like a rose bush, there's a way to prune it to encourage the flowers to bloom, to have more flowers come through than the thorny stems. So of course, it's always a combination, and there's a way to prune so that growth takes place. So that's what today is all about. It's about releasing and getting the effective, simple tools that will help you do so. So let's dive in. Today is about, tidying the attic of our mind, because there is divine energy, divine light embodiment from source that comes to us, that we experience. We are gifted energy daily. And it is our birthright to use this energy to experience it to its highest potential. So as we, our mind can be a source of constriction of that energy. So as it comes through, certain beliefs or certain thought forms can tighten that energy or like funnel it away. So as we tidy the way that we think, the way that we are, more and more embodiment, more and more ideas, inspiration, intuitive experiences can happen from our soul into this body and then out as we share it into the world. So that's the intention, because it's not effective to press the brake and the gas when we're driving the car, right? We want to ease off the brake and be with the gas to get momentum, to get motion. So certain thoughts, certain patterns, beliefs can be that brake pressing. So we can wonder like, oh, why are certain things happening in my life, happening for me in my life? Well, those certain things are happening because we might be pressing the brake via constriction and via blocking ourselves in certain ways. So we're going to be taking a look at releasing those things. Okay, so let's take a look at this past year and our overall life patterns. So if you have that like month by month write up, you can look at that and just see like, okay, has this been a year of expansion for me? Or has this been a year of challenge? Has it been a year of growth? Like, what is the overall pattern that I'm seeing here? And is this a pattern that I feel is really effective for my life intention? Or is this a pattern that I would like to shift, that I would like to optimize? And then we can really zoom in on our day, because there is a way that we carry ourselves in the day. There is a moment by moment, day by day kind of experience. So there's the highs of excitement, and there could be the challenges of something triggering happening, and there's those neutral moment by moment experiences throughout the day. And it's that neutral-ish space that we want to understand, like, what is my neutral? Is my neutral kind of angry and resentful? Is my neutral kind of excited and inspired? Or is my neutral actually a content place? Is it actually a neutral middle road? And I would say that contentment and that middle road is actually most often optimal, because if we are there, as something exciting and happy comes, we're really open and available to receive it. And as something triggering comes or something challenging, from a place of neutrality, we are most able to respond to it with heart, with love, with intention, with patience. So this really comes into how much does fear guide us? So in those moment by moment situations, there is the potential that we are doing the same action can be done from fear or from peace, love, excitement, joy. So let me give you a personal example here. I love to cook, and because I love the creativity of it, I love to create nutritious meals for my family. And at the same time, I see that it's possible for me to make dinner from a place of fear or from a place of excitement. So I can make it, I know I'm making it from a place of fear when I start to think, oh, I got to get this done. If I don't get it done, things won't go as smoothly. People won't be as happy. I won't feel as valuable if I don't get it done now. And that's when I slow down. So when I notice that fear is playing an aspect in the reason I'm moving into motion, into activity, I slow down. Because the same action can be done from a place of choosing to do it, of wanting things out of fear and bringing them back into our own choice, our own divine empowered choice. So there's beliefs that we have, and there could be beliefs that are empowering, and there could be beliefs that are limiting. So there are things that we think are true about the world. So something like, you know, I need to make dinner for my family. So that's a belief. So, or usually we know that we have a belief because we're experiencing an emotion tied to it as well. There could be, so thinking that, oh, things have to be done this way, or this is the right way, or this is the best way to do something. Usually that's a belief. So we can dismantle our belief, because with our beliefs are like the hammer, and the world is like nails. To have that creates our intention. If our intention is an expansive, easy, free, abundant life, then we better make sure that our tools, the beliefs we have, if we have any, the ones that we do have, help us to create that. So if we have a belief that life is hard, or it's hard to make money, then we will see that recur and come back to us day after day. So if you brought a pen and a paper with you, get that in your hands right now. We're going to do a little action. So think about your life, think about your day, or maybe you're thinking about the year that you wrote about, and write down the most limiting belief that you have. So this doesn't have to be like the core soul deep belief. It can be if you have access to that right now. That said, just for the moment being, whatever pops into your mind, any sort of limiting belief that you can have access to, go ahead and write that down. So something like, money is hard to make, or I need to continue doing this, or I need to achieve something before I am valuable. Something like that. You know, you can write down 3 or whatever, however many come to you. Okay, now here's where the magic happens. We're gonna flip it around. So if you wrote down, money is hard to make, you're gonna write down, you're gonna flip it around, and you're gonna write something like, money comes to me easily. If you wrote down, I need to achieve something before I'm valuable, you're gonna flip it around and write, I am valuable and worthy in every moment of my life. So go ahead and do that. It is so amazing, the capacity that we have, because an experience, an exercise like this, that might seem trivial, it might seem simplistic, oh, just write down that flipped belief, it's actually effective. And that is where the magic happens. When we give our brain, from the vantage point of, our higher self, our soul infused self, when we give our brain that flipped belief, we will start to see it in our day. We will start to experience this flipped belief in our day. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit about this tomorrow. And I'm going to mention it now as well. So when we commit to writing down beliefs like this as they come up, so let's say you wake up and just in that moment of your personality self coming into your body, and they have these limiting beliefs come up about the day or about your life, and you just hear them and you write down the flipped version of them, and you take just a couple minutes to do this every day, you will start to see huge shifts. I started to see huge shifts when I did this practice. So it is so incredible, the amount of power and the amount of choice that we have in our life. It is just magnificent and mind-blowing to me all the time. Just doing a simple, effective practice like this can shift our day, can shift our life experience. So this is something I really recommend, to prune these limiting beliefs and put them down in a different way. There are things that can run in the background, like a computer. This is, really the computer is such a mirror of the processes of our brain in a lot of different ways. There's things that can run in the background that really affect the way that things are expressed, the way that we perceive things in our conscious life, and the way that we interact then with the world as well. So attending to these things, to these beliefs, as they come up, hearing them, it's so effective and necessary to learn to hear our thoughts and to understand what it is that we're feeling, just to get to know it, not necessarily understand it like in some dismantled way, but understand that we are feeling it, understand that it is coming through, and just to hear it and give it that moment. It's so effective. So let's dismantle some energy leaks. We dismantled beliefs. Now let's plug some energy leaks. So this energy that comes through from divine source for us to use every day, as we, tighten here and tighten there, we plug up that divine flow of love and light and creative inspiration. So we want to open those places up. We want to really imbibe as much of that energy as possible, because it's possible to always have more and more and more love in our hearts, more and more and more kindness that we express, more and more patience and contentment and compassion. That's something that's an intention in my life. And I know that, that's a continuous journey. There's always a greater degree of embodied love that I can step into. So this is why I find this work so exciting and fascinating, and why I love to share it. So let me talk about one of the biggest energy leaks that I perceive in myself, in my work with clients, in my conversations with friends and family. And this could be controversial, so just bear with me here. The biggest energy leak that I perceive is putting others first. So let me break this down. So in that example of that I shared with you about me cooking dinner, that is an action that will benefit others and myself. And what energy am I coming with to this to this activity that is giving benefit to others? So when I say putting others first, it means that we give from a place that drains us. So we give from a place of feeling like, oh, I have to, or I need to, instead of owning my divine choice. So even when we do something where others really depend on us, like caretaking for parents or for children, there are ways that we can activate that care from a place of knowing that we are choosing to do that in every moment. We have so much choice in our life that we can hold our breath and die. Okay? Our body will fight us on that for a little bit. That said, we have so much choice in our life. So when we do any action, to do it from a place of knowing that we are deciding to act on it, even if we are in the midst of it because we're caretaking for somebody and we really need to help their physical life continue, even in that moment, to come back to the heart space and to realize that, yeah, I'm choosing this. I'm doing this because I have love. I'm doing this because this is the reality that is my experience right now. That will shift things so much. When we put others first, there is resentment that can build up. There's huge energy drains. We can feel tired on an emotional level at the end of the day, at the end of the week, and this accumulates. So sometimes we'll see people that just look and feel tired, or that they respond to a situation with a lot more like anger or trigger than we seem to think the situation could have required. And that's because there's energy being leaked out. So plugging those places and allowing yourself to be a container for the divine power and love that is giving to us every day is so important for a most optimal experience of this year and our entire life. So we can know that there's an energy drain happening when our body dreads the activity. So when we have like constriction in our chest or in our heart or in our stomach, that is when we know that there's some resistance happening, and we can just come back to the body, use the breath to just take a moment and listen. Do I want to do this, or why don't I? And what's happening here? How can I reframe this, come at this from a different way, maybe do something else first before I do this other activity? And just let that energy flow again. Let that power and divine light that comes to you every day, that comes to you in every moment, that you are inseparable from, let it guide your actions. And in that way, we plug a leak. So also another way that we can spot this is incessant thoughts and worries. So this could be within our own mind, or that another person that we are speaking with is just speaking about the things that are going wrong in their day, or the things that are not happening, and just kind of like rehearsing that and doing that over and over in a way that's not really asking for transformation of that, in a way that's just kind of like, oh, we or someone else are just stuck on seeing that versus something else. So a way to experience yourself stepping out of that, and also in conversation, a great thing to do is just to ask, oh, well, what is the best part about this? What did you like about that? Well, what are you grateful for? How is this helping you? So again, it seems like such a simple thing to do. And when we give that to our minds, when we just say, well, how is this serving me? How am I grateful for this? It gives our brain a new input. And then our brain starts to look for that answer. So this is such a great way to refocus. The situation can remain as it is that we're perceiving. It's really our experience that matters. It's really our experience that we live with day to day to day, moment to moment. So that is what we are attending to. It's the way that we carry ourselves through the day. That's why to ask ourselves, well, how is this cultivating my love? How is this cultivating my compassion? And just feel any answers that arise is just another like simple, really effective way to prune the places that don't serve us and step into the true experience of the greatness that is available to us. So another thing where I really perceive energy leaks in myself and at large is a feeling of restlessness. So that feeling of having to go somewhere or having to do something, and oh, well, if I just go there, it'll be better, or this kind of motion of needing to change what you're doing now. So this can really lead to us feeling tired at the end of the day, because we've just spent our whole day like, place. So when I perceive that in me, this is challenging. This one is not simple. This is challenging to sit for at least 60 seconds, or whatever time you can handle it for, to actually not go and not move and to just stay. So I close my eyes. I actually stay still and I breathe with the sensation of wanting to go and do something. And I just breathe with it. And this is challenging. I know, because that's how I've experienced it before. So this is a really incredible way to practice, a really incredible thing to do, is to just have that capacity to be still and to really identify what and how and where an action is coming from before taking that action. So we don't want it to come from a place that's draining us. We want the things that we do to serve us. And that's how we align our life. Our whole life is an opportunity for us to be served, for us to set our life up in a way that serves the highest good consistently. So when I say our whole life, that's not to overwhelm us. That's to inspire us with the possibility of, with time, to create our greatest expression, with time to attend to every piece, so that as we move through our day and as we move through our physical space, there is inspiration, there's contentment, there is joy that is facilitated, so that when those moments of restlessness or trigger or worry come, there's a place for us to sit down in. There's a place for us to let those things move through us, because we've cultivated our experience to such a degree, or cultivated our external expression to such a degree, our like actual physical space, how we are, that we have the room for all of this to happen. So another way that we lose energy is when we try to live another person's life for them. So this is control dynamics. When we think that another person has to do it differently or needs to do it such and such a way. So there's legitimate advice, there's legitimate exchange of ideas, and then there's feeling uptight, like feeling a constriction, like tight in our upper spaces when we perceive someone doing something, and that's a constriction that signals control. So again, coming back to that divine inherent power and knowing that we always have the choice to have a life, to choose my life to be in presence with someone. So if I'm choosing to be in presence with this person, then I can also choose to let go and look at myself, let go and allow that person to do what they're doing, or to change how frequently that person is in my life. If I really feel so emotional and so wrought with my experience when I'm witnessing that person doing something. So then there's like the climax choice of, well, how often do I choose that person to be in my life? And at all other times, to just be aware of, we're not capable of living another's life for them. Our life is our true and one and only focus. This is where we have the power. The power is given to us here. The light and the creativity and the inspiration is here. So we can serve another's life by example. We can serve our family and our community by example. And when we feel ourselves pulling and trying to control and giving advice that we really, really hope that person takes, that is a place to lose energy quickly. So let's move into something that helps us to dismantle our problems and our challenges in our perceived these perceived challenges that come with us every day. So let's look inward and close our eyes and perceive a luminous egg around us. So a luminous field of light, like an egg surrounding us, like our aura or energy field. And just marvel at this luminosity that surrounds us for a little bit. And start to look closer and see that there is like dark pieces, like embedded in this luminous egg. It's like a dark fragment. So these are the perceived problems or the challenges of our life. And just reach out to one, either with your physical hand or your energetic hand, and just pluck it out of the egg. And let it, as you pluck it, release it, and let it fall down into the darkness of the earth that receives everything to be transmuted. Let it fall into that darkness and through and deeper until it reaches the molten lava core where it just burns up. And take some moments to just pluck these pieces, these dark pieces out of the luminous shell of your egg. And as you pluck them, you might get an awareness of what it is that these dark pieces represent, or maybe not. Either way, just know that you're cleaning your luminosity, and that as you pluck each piece, that the luminosity fills in that place where it was, and you now have more radiance and more light in your field. So just take some moments to do that. So this is another tool that we can use to prune what doesn't serve us. This is the way that you have the power to go into your energy field and to clean it. Because our brain is like a computer loading program. So every day we wake up and we remember our history. We remember the past. And oh yeah, right, I'm afraid of singing in public. Oh right, there's this challenge and that. So the point is to only bring with us that which we choose to bring. To have a intentional decision on what it is we bring forward with us today, of what we bring forward with us into this year. So as we go in, we pluck challenges, problems, limiting beliefs and thoughts and behaviors. We start to create more and more luminosity, more and more choice. And with that, there is just an expansive sensation for our true innocent nature to shine forth. That part of us that has ideas, that part of us that has expressions that are playful or loving or inventive. And as we prune, more of that has room to show up.